What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Turner here with another episode of the No Stress Midwest podcast. We are here here on season 2. We're joined by a very special guest, Miss Jaycie Johnson. Jaycie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing good. Now, Jaycie, you're here in KC. I just found out.
Yes.
So we probably could have had a cup of coffee and had this in person. That might have been pretty cool. But
I know.
oh well. What brings you back into the area?
I was coming back down to see my family mainly, and then I have some free time now that college soccer is kind of on a pause for at least the Big Ten at the moment. So I wanted to come home and train with my trainer at a Greater U. So kind of two of my main reasons for coming back to KC.
Cool. So you mentioned, and we'll kind of get into that in a little bit, but you mentioned college is over. So I know a lot of us think you are still in college. That's how young you look. We'll kind of talk. What do you mean by that?
I went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, and I played there. I graduated in 2017, and ironically, kind of came full circle. I'm back there now helping coach the women's program. So yeah, full circle. Now I'm on the other side of things, which is really weird. But yeah, so this is my dog.
What's its name?
This is Lulu. She's a yellow lab. She's 3
Okay.
years old.
Lulu.
But yeah, so I'm back in Nebraska coaching. It was really weird with COVID. The Big Ten did not have a season this year. We're planning on starting up next February.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a full circle for us in a big picture.
Yes.
But let's break that circle up into little steps here as we move around. So before all of that, before college, you started playing, right, somewhere.
Yes.
What kind of got you involved with soccer? Did you play other sports? Was it tough being a girl maybe playing soccer in the area at the time? Kind of talk to us about all that.
Yeah. Well, I have older brothers and they all played soccer. So when I was 3, my parents decided, well, all your brothers have done it, so we'll just put you through it. They all enjoyed it. And well, I guess once I started playing when I was 3, I haven't stopped and haven't looked back. So I kind of have to thank my brothers for getting soccer introduced to me because they all played it. And so my parents decided I'm the baby. I'm the youngest one. So they're like, okay, it's your turn. Let's see how you like it, because they all were still playing when I started. So that was kind of the easy little stepping stones for me.
So the oldest brother, how old is he? What's that age difference between you two?
So I'm 25. And my oldest brother is 31. So there's a 6-year gap between all of them.
All right.
So they were all still playing when I first started.
So were there a lot of epic Johnson soccer matches at the house, probably indoors, at mom's and dad's expense?
Yes, indoors. We started when I was little, since I wasn't I was so small. I'm still not the biggest. I'm only 5'5". So I was still really small compared to all my brothers. So they started easy on me. And then when I got older, we finally got a bigger goal in our backyard, and we would have horse wars, game on, 1v1s. After I think I got when I was 8, things started to get really real for me against my brothers, because they're you're not that little.
Right. Now, welcome to the pack now.
Exactly. So, yeah, we had a lot of competitive battles in our backyard.
Any broken bones or anything, any broken windows, any broken stuff like that?
Shockingly, no. We never broke anything.
Good job.
We slightly maybe might have had some concussions, but you're a kid, it's kind of dust it off, keep going.
Yeah. It's funny. So if my mom listens to this, I don't know if she is or not, but I was an only child, and I used to dribble around the house, and we had a cat, and I would try juggling and do stuff, and I would break stuff all the time, and I would always blame it on the cat. Always.
That's an easy outlet.
Yeah, well, I always thought so. And she was like, she would get mad at the cat, and then like I could feel the cat looking at me. Like I was just like, don't make eye contact. Um, but okay, so you got started. You had the older brothers that got you involved. So then when did you get into club? Like I'm sure you started at like a rec league
Yeah.
as a youth, and then when did you kind of make that transition to say, hey, I want to do this at a higher level?
Yeah. I was like 6.5, 7
Okay.
is when I kind of went the club route. I started out with Scream, which is now KC Select, which I don't know what they are now. There's too many club.
KC Select has been renamed a zillion times. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is now.
I can't keep up with it. There's way too many clubs now in Kansas City than there was back when I was in that era.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started with Scream, that is now KC Select, which evolved to whatever it is now. And then after that, I was there for, I think, till I was like maybe 10, 9.5. And then I went to the Pink Panthers, which that's like a Lee Summit team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were not highly, we weren't highly liked.
Yeah. Okay.
But I went to the Pink Panthers. I was there until our coach was Tim Richardson. He was a high school coach.
Yeah.
So you couldn't play for him once you got to a high school age. So once I hit high school, I went to KCFC.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Gags there. I was playing a year up, actually.
Pritchard.
Yeah.
Pritchard, yeah.
I was playing a year up with him, and then they wanted to go 2 years up, and my mom's kind of like, you're not to that point yet with like my growth. I was still really, really, really small, like very small. So my mom's like, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe
so then
not.
I went to, so she's like, let's kind of not get you injured yet. Like, so then I went to Blue Valley, and I was there for maybe like half a season. I did not like it. No offense to them. It wasn't the club for me. Yeah. So then I went back to KCFC, and I was there for the rest of my club career till I went to college.
Okay.
And then I guess they merged to Sporting Blue Valley.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Blue Valley Stars was it Blue Valley? Sorry, you froze on me.
Yeah, sorry, I froze.
Yeah. Blue Valley Stars?
Yeah, that's
Right. Okay.
The big merger.
Right. Yeah, I think it was one of our guests, either Addison or Hallie Clanky.
Hallie
played for the Pink Panthers as well under Tim Richards. I think it was Clanky, because she's from Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's how we kind of got started. That was our little club path.
Yeah.
Now, any memorable coaches? You mentioned Gags, who is now a head coach at Blue Valley High School. So I coach against him now. He's a guy. So I won't give you my biased opinion, but memorable coaches.
Yeah, all of my coaches were amazing with me. I only had about 5 throughout my club career. So like I loved every single one of them. But the 2 that stuck out for me the most would have been Tim Richardson, because I had him so early in my like developmental stages of just like my footwork skills and like just the ability to like get that commitment to using my left and right foot and not just staying like right foot dominant. So he was a very instrumental part of like my development growing up. I loved every day with him. Every practice there was something new, but we always came back to like the same topics of like, this is your core values and like you need to build off of this. Mm-hmm. So I really loved those practices, very competitive. And then Richard Davies, also known as TV, he was one of my main club coaches for a while too. And I just loved him. It was just a competition. He cared about us so much. He was kind of like a father to all of us. So he took care of, there's only like 11 of us, 12 of us on the team. So like we had a small team. So like everything was competitive, but like we were a huge family. So like he made a great environment for the core of us that were there with him.
That's cool. And as a coach now and being obviously a player, I can remember as a player some of those coaches who like really made me fall back in love with the game or really taught me something that
Yeah.
I still use. And then as a coach, you want to be that, right? And now you can attest to that. As a coach, you want to be that person that when a podcast comes out in 20 years, they're like, yeah, Jaycie Johnson, I loved her my first year in Nebraska. She was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into high school now.
Okay.
So I was reading this, and I don't know if I'm just doing a really good job at picking guests that were just badasses in high school, but man, I was reading this. So you guys, Jaycie Johnson, 195 goals in 4 years, which is in its own level. All state for 4 years, All-American and her junior year, Gatorade Missouri State Player of the Year. Senior year, 4-star recruit, 148th player ranking in the country. So like, wow. What was high school like for you? 195 goals. Like, are you kind of bummed you didn't get 200? Are you like, man, 195 goals is like, that's crazy. So talk to me.
I mean, high school, I had mixed emotions about it. I enjoyed it. I loved all my teammates. The girls I played with were amazing. It's just, I scored a lot. That was my thing. I was a forward attacker. I loved scoring goals. I get very emotional. I get so excited. That's just how I was in high school. But I mean, I definitely think I could have got past 200. But there's some circumstances that didn't allow me to, which is fine. I'm not bitter about it. I enjoyed my high school career. I had a lot of accolades, as you said. It was fun. It prepared me to go to bigger and better things. So I can't complain. High school was really fun. I was a couple goals off of breaking the Missouri state record of single season scoring. I would agree with one of my longtime friends, Morgan Barbaro. She went to North. So that was one of the only things I was kind of bummed about. I kind of wanted to like get that over her because she was an amazing player. She also like continued her career at Nebraska and then she transferred to Santa Clara. So she was kind of like someone I looked up to, and I was like, I wanted to be her mini me. So that was one thing I was like, I wish I could have like gotten those. I needed 3 goals. So but I know, but I loved high school. It was fun. It like challenged me in ways that I didn't think it could challenge me. Especially mentally. I had to like mentally stay engaged with a lot of things and kind of adjust because it's very different from club soccer.
For sure.
So that was like a very good challenge for me to like get mentally stable before I went to college.
Yeah.
Because college is a different animal than anything you experience high school or club. Even if like I played in the highest club league in ECNL, and like that still doesn't prepare you for what you're going to endure in college. So that kind of helped me start some stepping stones to getting like mentally prepared and like physically prepared to go to Nebraska and compete in the Big Ten.
Okay. Now, before we get to college, you touched on a good point, and I wanted to bring it up because I've seen it personally as a coach. So you talked about mentally the toll or effect that high school soccer had on you, and sure, it's high school soccer, but I'm sure it's also high school in general and dealing with school and dealing with getting your license and driving to see your friends and hanging out with, a boyfriend or a girlfriend and going to get food and, just doing all this stuff that comes with high school and trying to get into college, right? So it's a lot of stressors that are on these players that I think we totally discredit and like just say, hey, deal with it. When now I think getting into college is like more stressful than ever. And I just want to know, what were some of the things that you did you said prepare yourself, but what were some of the things you did that you recognized in high school and was able to deal with that prepared you for college?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I committed really early to Nebraska.
Okay.
I committed at the beginning of my sophomore year.
All right.
So after that kind of happened, I really had to treat high school kind of like a job because I couldn't risk getting in trouble. I couldn't risk getting injured. I couldn't risk all of these things that maybe all of the other high school students could do who were athletes or weren't athletes. But like, I already kind of had like my job set up.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had to be very extra careful with everything I did, making sure like I was kind of like a top student, top athlete. Like I just knew like I couldn't risk getting my scholarship taken away. I couldn't risk like getting injured. Like I had to just be very conscious of everything that I did to make sure I was representing myself in the best possible way to then represent myself at Nebraska. So I like couldn't do all the normal things kids did. Like I wasn't staying out late. I wasn't going out to like parties, or like if I did occasionally go out, like I had to be very aware of my surroundings, and like there was alcohol there. It's high school. I mean, everyone knows.
Yeah.
It happens. Like I had to remove myself from that situation. I had to be careful because like I wasn't gonna risk my future, like my potential in future. So I like that was a stressor on me that I know I had to deal with. And like nowadays I know kids, like it's so much different than when I was in school. So I can only imagine the stress that they're dealing with now, that like just kids are starting to drive earlier. Like it's just like a different.
Well, and social media now, man,
Exactly.
It's so crazy. Like
It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's so crazy how
it has evolved.
Yeah, and like, man, I mean, not saying that social media wasn't out like when
No, but like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
when I was in high school, like it wasn't like people weren't wrapped around the idea of like I have to post everything I'm doing.
Right.
I need to show you where I'm at, who I'm with. Like that really wasn't everyone's main focus back then, which I'm kind of thankful for, because that like I feel like it can be a great thing. It can be a great platform, but it can also be so toxic and just mind-boggling of like the ways that people can use it.
Well, and luckily for me, when I was in high school, we didn't have smartphones. Like we didn't have cell phones that could go online, and MySpace was like the only thing.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, geez.
Yeah. It's a different day and age now.
Yeah. But okay, so before, I mean, you mentioned you committed early to Nebraska. So do you think that club was probably the bigger thing that helped you for college, or do you think that a really good freshman year on top of club, or do you think it was mostly high school that helped you with Nebraska?
Definitely I'm going to credit my club soccer way more, because club soccer, you have the freedom to travel to all these showcases. You can go to all these different places where college coaches can come see you, and it's going to be a better environment for the college coaches. It's going to be more competitive. It's going to be, you actually have to showcase your talents more than what my high school experience was. Granted, we had great teams in Kansas City that we did face, but almost every club soccer game that I played when I got to that recruiting age, it was like tooth and nail. It was a battle. Like I had to be on my A game.
All-star team of high school kids.
It was like my team was an all-star team of Kansas City area girls that were my age. Like we all went and played college soccer. Like I think there's only 2 girls that didn't go play college soccer. So out of all of us, we were recruiting so much attention to our team for college coaches to come watch us. Yeah. So club soccer definitely had more of a factor in my college recruitment, getting my name out there and allowing coaches to send me information and to get in contact with me.
Okay. So what were you having a lot of colleges that were recruiting you? Obviously being, I mean, and I'm sure maybe it came later, but were there a lot of schools that are of interest? What drew you to Nebraska? Something that I'm really big in as a coach is telling my players, like, yes, I understand you all want to play at these certain programs, but the school has to be a right fit. They have to have your major. There's certain things that, like, regardless of the sport, the college, the university has to feel home. So what was the recruiting phase, and what made you kind of decide on Nebraska?
Yeah, so when I was little, I always went to college camps. They hosted camps, and that was another easy way to like meet college coaches, kind of get your name out in a sense, to let them see kind of what you can do, because they teach you some of the stuff that they like do with their college kids. So
Yeah.
I went to a Nebraska camp because a good amount of Kansas City girls actually went to Nebraska. So they invited me and a couple of my friends, like club girls, up to come to their camp. They're like, you should just come. Like, it's really fun. We'll be your guys' coaches. Like, we'll help you. So like, we were all for it. We were so excited. Like, wow, we know the college girls. Like, we know our coaches.
Yeah.
So I went to a camp when I was 10, and after I went to that camp, I fell in love with Nebraska. Like, that was like it for me.
Yeah.
But I was still open to other campuses, colleges, whatever. I was still open, but I was just like, I was blown away with Nebraska. I know it sounds weird. It's Lincoln, Nebraska. It's literally in the middle of the country. But we toured their campuses, we toured the facilities. I saw everything that Nebraska had to offer to the student athlete.
Yeah.
And meeting Coach Walker, he was just such a straight standout guy that I was just like, I respected him, and I was like, I want to play for him. He would get the best out of me, and I know that he would then give it back to me and help me in my career outside of soccer. And I had bigger goals. I wanted to play on the national team. I wanted to go pro, whatever it was. I knew he would be able to help me in that area.
Right.
So once I went there and I saw the camp and I learned all the skills and went through everything, it kind of just matched my personality and it matched my game and my growth. So I was all in. I told my parents on the way home, I was like, I want to come to school here. This is where I want to be. And both my parents were like, that's great, but we need to keep the options open. I was 10, you don't know if you'll get a scholarship. You don't know if you're good enough. I still have.
Mom, Dad, I hear you. I told you I'm going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
I got it.
So as soon when I went through when I was 10, I fell in love. One of my roommates, Sydney Miramontes, she was from Kansas City. We ended up both going there. And she's like, ever since you were 10, you've been talking about this. And she's like, you're living your dream. I was like, yeah. I know. This is what I wanted. And this is exactly where I wanted to be. So it kind of was weird that when I was 10, I kind of knew,
no, that's
my future home. So
right. That's awesome. And it's kind of really similar stories then with Clanky as well. She went to a UNC camp when she was a kid. Yeah. And got a picture with Anson Dorrance and said, at that moment, I knew I wanted to play at UNC. And similar, and just like you, here she is now living out her dream. So
I know. I'm so proud of her. I got to train with her in KC a couple times before she actually left to UNC. And I was just I was so happy for her. She told me her story and I was like, that's amazing. I was like, you're going to do so many great things. And she's been scoring. She's been playing so many minutes there. So it's so exciting to see her doing her thing out there.
A student that's struggling a little bit with the hybrid and virtual learning and looking to get just a little more help academically? Or are you a parent that has a child who's struggling to keep that same level of discipline and rigor that they had in the classroom at home? If any of these apply to you, check out No Stress Midwest Education, an academic tutoring service where we offer both in-person and virtual tutoring. One of the things that separates us from others is that all of our tutors are board certified educators in Kansas and Missouri in a variety of specialty topics and familiar with the latest curriculum in school districts around the metro area. We are passionate about helping students achieve their goals in the classroom and also committed to helping students build the necessary skills and tools they will need in the future to succeed on their own. Our team follows the latest guidelines from the CDC. We require masks for all in-person tutoring to protect both the student and the tutor. Our tutors will either travel to your home or meet at a predetermined location to conduct all in-person tutoring sessions. All we need is a space for learning, and we're ready to go. At No Stress Midwest, we truly believe in developing the well-rounded student athlete. No Stress Midwest does not tell you what to think, but teaches you how to think. No Stress Midwest Education, an academic tutoring service. For more information, visit www.nostressmidwest.com/education.
Yeah, no, I was actually, before we hopped on, they're doing a replay of UNC versus Virginia Tech, I think,
Oh, okay.
semifinal. So I was watching her get some minutes there. All right, so you got to Nebraska. Freshman year, you led the team, was it 17 goals? And you were one of only 5 players to score 4 goals in an NCAA tourney game. So I said one of only 5 players ever. But then let me add that she was a freshman when she did all that. So freshman year, you made the all NCAA all freshman team. Like, it just seems like you just can't stop putting the ball in the back of the net. What was your freshman year like?
Hi, yes. My freshman year was a fairy tale for an incoming freshman, and everything that team accomplished and that I was a part of. I couldn't have written it any better. It was such just an amazing, memorable year for me.
Yeah.
And that 2013 Nebraska soccer team, it was that summer. I went early. We went there. We reported in May, so we were there all
Graduate
summer.
early, high school
Yeah.
early, or did you just not get the graduation?
I didn't graduate early.
Yeah.
Missouri ended really early that year for the seniors. I don't know why, but I graduated.
You were going to Nebraska.
I guess it kind of worked out great. Like,
Duh.
I graduated high school. I had about like 12 days in Kansas City before I moved up to Lincoln.
Okay.
So right after I graduated, I was gone. I went up there. I was taking summer classes. Almost the whole team was in Lincoln, and we were training all summer, early morning runs, workouts, scrimmages, getting us like into that environment and adjusting us and getting ready for our season. And like the upperclassmen were like, we're going to win a Big Ten championship. This is our year. We're putting the work in now to then get rewarded. Like, I think that year we were supposed to like finish 9th in the Big Ten. Like, we were not even supposed to be anywhere near the top.
Yeah.
So it was just so fun to just see our progression throughout the whole season. I think we only lost 3 games that season. So like, it was amazing to just see every game we were getting better and better and better and better. And then by the end of it, we had 2 Big Ten championships, and we were ranked 2nd in the NCAA tournament going into that selection show. So it was just like a fairy tale. The fact that personally for me, I was able to help so much by scoring and just doing anything I could to get our team to win and to keep advancing and just to keep improving every game.
And all of that while at 7 years ago, you made the commitment of wanting to play there. So now it's all a fairy tale that's just like,
yes.
Yeah. Did you think that you were dreaming at any point of it? Did you try waking up?
When we won the Big Ten conference, when we beat Penn State, we had to beat Penn State to like have a chance to win. We played Indiana our next game on senior day. We had to beat Penn State.
Right.
Once we beat Penn State, it was kind of becoming a little bit more real to me that like we were 1 game away from winning it all.
It was right there.
And like our Penn State game, we went into double overtime. I scored the winning goal with like 1:20 left.
I got
and
you.
And like, it was just like that. And that moment, I remember I cried after that game because I was so emotional. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, we were not projected to even be this good. And we just beat Penn State, who had won it for the past 15 years. No one had beaten them. And like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, this is not real life. Like, this is not going to be my freshman year. This is not how like the story is going to be written. Like, it was just, once we won the Big Ten conference, once we beat Indiana at home, I remember like that night, I was just like, holy crap. Like, that was not a dream. Like, that happened. Like, we won that.
Yep.
Like, after that game, our whole team went over to one of the girls' houses, and like, we all were just celebrating. Like, we were all just like in disbelief, but so proud that we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish and like what we put our mindset to. And it was just, I still get goosebumps thinking about it because I'm just like, that was amazing. Like, that that set the tone for my college career. And like,
Sure.
I was just like, nothing's gonna beat this, because this was too good to be true.
Yeah, no. So listen, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like I'm feeling it. If you guys are just listening, you can't see her smile, but I'm sure you can feel it. For the people that are watching, you can see how excited she is about telling this story and reliving the moment. So man, that's awesome. Um, so after your freshman year, I think I read it right. You spent some time with the U.S. national youth team, right? The U23s.
Yeah,
So
I got called into the U20s first.
20, okay.
And then after that, I went in with the U23s.
Okay, and what was your time like with the national team? Any people that you played with there that then you played against in college, or any friendships that were made one place or the other?
Yeah, being with the U20s and U23s is a really exciting thing for me. I always wanted to be a part of the national team system in any way I could. Um, so once I got that call, and when I was in camps, it was kind of really nerve-wracking for me because I'd never been in that environment before. And most of these girls that I was with have been in it
For you.
since their youth days.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a big change for me. Just to be like my first camp, I remember I was really nervous the whole week, but it was really fun. Like, you learn a lot, you develop a lot. So, but one thing, when I was called into every camp I went to, Rose Favell was there too. She went to Wisconsin, so she was in the Big Ten. So me and her got to bond with that. And every time we played each other, we would just laugh because we were normally marking each other. We were around each other for most of the game.
Yeah.
So me and her would always laugh, and it was always good to see each other. And she's doing amazing things now, so I'm so proud of her. But the soccer world, people think it's very big, but it is a very small world.
Very.
And your paths cross at all times. It's crazy, but
Yep.
It's so fun because you remember those connections and you remember those friendships, and every time you see one another, it's just like, where do I know you from? This is it. And it's like natural, like you've known each other for a long time. So the soccer world is an amazing thing. I love it. I went pro, and like seeing all these girls that I went to national team camps with, played against, like you just pick up where you left off, and like it's so fun. Everyone's so sweet, everyone's so nice, and it's just a very fun, competitive environment because everyone wants to win. Everyone's just as good as you, if not better. So you're always striving to get better, and like everyone wants you to get better. And it's always just like a really fun, competitive environment.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so, and being with the youth national team, I've talked with a few guests that have all been a part of it. So, what did you think was the biggest adjustment, whether it was physically, mentally, or emotionally, with going from your, let's say, club or collegiate team to the youth national team and the camps and all that? What was the biggest thing that you had to adjust to?
Yeah, for me, it was more mentally than physically. Like physically, I mean, 2 days is never fun, let's be honest. But like, it's, you adjust, you recover, whatever. But like mentally, it's taxing. It does take a toll on you mentally because you're thrown into a new environment. You're learning a completely new system, and you're with people you don't play with. Like it's the best of the best coming together, and you have to adjust. And for me, like, I'd never been to a camp before, so like I really had to adjust. These girls knew each other. Yeah. They played with each other for whatever, any certain times. So like for me, it was really hard mentally just to stay focused and like to not get down on myself. If I didn't understand completely what they were doing, it might have taken me like a second to finally catch on. But like I did finally catch on. But it is a hard mental thing for me personally. Physically, it's fine. It's really fun. You're playing soccer with some of the best, like, and representing your country. Like, you can't complain with that. But mentally, it's just adjusting to the system and like what they're teaching you, because you're only there for 7 to 10 days and you have to retain all this information, and then you have to apply it to the best of your ability. But also you have to impress the coaching staff to make them want to play you, call you back and like keep you in that system. So like mentally you have to always just be locked in, and like if you mess up, it's fine. You have to forget about it and move on. And you just have to keep moving on from play to play to play. So like mentally you have to just like locked in, ready to go. Like it's a roller coaster ride, but in the end it's amazing to like just see your accomplishments and everything that you did with it, and just know like you're representing your country. So like just enjoy that moment.
For sure. Okay, so after all of this, now the stories have been awesome to hear, but then we have, I'm not going to say it's a down part, but it's where I think, Jaycie, in my opinion, you face the most adversity in your young playing career. So we suffered our first ACL injury, right? Was it the sophomore year?
It was my junior year. It was right back when I went to Norway with the U23s. I came home. I did all my summer training. I had like 2 weeks, and then we started season. So I was kind of on a really high. I was like, I just did this. Like I represented my country. We won the tournament. Now let's go into season. I was ready for it. I was like, it's my junior year. Like I'm a veteran now. Like here we go.
And here we go, right? So
we go.
Right. Your first season-ending surgery, right? The torn ACL.
Yeah.
So talk to me about it, because I know a very big thing, and especially female athletes, is the ACL, the MCL tear. So
yeah,
what do you think caused it? What went through your head? What was the movement, if you remember? Like, just kind of talk us through it a bit.
So we were playing Penn State at home, and it was the 20th minute at least, or even before that. It was really early in the game, and I was dribbling down the left-hand side of the goal. I think I was going north, I don't know, but I was going towards Penn State's goal. Okay. And I was like kind of like halfway outside of the 18. All right. And I was trying to get around the defender, but she like nudged it, like she toe poked it towards like the goal line. Mm-hmm. So I like stepped across her, and I was just like shielding out of bounds to get a corner because there's no way I was going to get around her. And I like had planted, and I like put my body out to just protect the ball to go out of bounds. And she just came in from the side and chopped at my leg and hit like the top part of like my quad right above my knee. And like my leg was fully extended. So as soon as she hit it, my knee caved in, and like I kind of felt a pop, but I was like, oh, it's whatever. So like I went down from the impact, and I tried to get back up, and my leg gave out, and I just collapsed back down. And at that point I was like, all right, I did something. I don't know what I did, but like I did something. Yeah. And there's a photo of me, I remember, of like my trainer carrying me off the field, and I'm just crying. Yeah. And like every time I see that photo, I'm just like, pains me. So I get my MRI, ACL, MCL tear. I have to do a prehab to heal my MCL, because that can heal on its own, unlike your ACL, unfortunately. Your MCL can heal on your own. So I had 4 weeks of prehab, and then I got my surgery at the end of October. I think it was like October 24th of 2015.
So that was still early in midway through the season for.
That was actually our first conference game. So we opened up with Penn State. So I missed the rest of conference play. So that was kind of like a dagger to me. If I wouldn't have played those 20 minutes, I could have redshirted and got another year. So like I could have probably fought it and like maybe got another year out of it, but I was just so like mentally done with it that I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to get ready for my senior year. That's just what I'm going to prepare for. That was my main focus. Like, I was like, I don't want to fight it. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to zone in. Senior year is what I'm working towards.
Right. Okay. So you get to your senior year, right? And And after the senior year, you were selected. Correct?
So my senior year, I got through it, no problems.
Yeah.
I was healthy. I entered my name into the 2017 draft, into USL draft. I was still training with Nebraska, even though like our season was done. I was still training because I wanted to keep my fitness up, like game fitness, touches. December 1st. Yeah, December 1st. It was right after Thanksgiving break. We came back, we were scrimmaging. The last like 2 minutes of the scrimmage, I retore my ACL.
Oh my goodness.
So it was right before the draft. It was another contact injury. A goalkeeper came out, just clobbered me, whatever. This one was worse. This one I did.
The same ACL?
My right ACL,
okay.
Same knee. I tore my ACL, MCL. I had meniscus and cartilage damage.
Oh, man.
So I did more this time.
Yeah.
So December 15th, I get my surgery. I'm back in the races, back in my rehab. One of the hardest things during that rehab was I actually, like, a week after my surgery, I got called in to a U23 camp. And they didn't know that I had torn my ACL. They did not know I was injured. They had no idea. And that kind of broke me.
For sure. Oh,
even
for sure.
That broke me even more than re-tearing my ACL. Not like, I mean, I didn't think I was going to get drafted. I was like, I just retore my same ACL. It is my second ACL within
like
a 13 and a half month time period of recovery.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, odds are really against me right now. I just retore my ACL. I was not probably going to get drafted. I just got called back into a national team camp. Couldn't go. I was just like, what else are you going to throw at me at this point in time?
Yeah.
Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Trust the process and sign up for No Stress Midwest training today at www.nostressmidwest.com/training. No Stress Midwest primarily offers training for soccer players on the individual, group, and team settings of all ages and skill sets. Our training is customized for the player, and our goal in doing that is to continue to grow the love of the game, build a personal desire to want to develop, and create the chance and choice for the player to play at the next level. We have developed a unique solution here at No Stress Midwest Training, showing our clients that you can have fun while still getting better. By creating a unique training environment customized to the player, we feel that not only are we able to get the most out of the individual by creating a no-stress environment, but we are also teaching them fundamentals that they can carry off the field and apply in their everyday life. Visit our website at www.nostressmidwest.com/training and sign up for your first session today.
Yeah.
But fast forward, draft day comes. I'm driving home.
Yeah, talk to me about, because everyone I've spoke to that's been drafted has a different story, and none of them are what I would picture like draft situation is like. So talk to me, Jaycie. Let's hear your draft day story.
So it was on a Friday, and it was in January. I don't remember the exact day, but I was watching the draft that whole morning. I had 2 classes that morning, so a good student I was. Don't listen to me, kids. Pay attention in school.
Right, of course.
I was multitasking. I was watching the draft because so many of my friends were in the draft. So I was like, I want to watch them, even though like my name might not get called. I want to watch my friends do awesome things and see where they end up. So I watched, I think, the first like 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a Friday, so I was coming back home to Kansas City. I had some family stuff. So I was driving back, and I'm like halfway through my drive, and my phone just starts blowing up.
Yeah.
Blowing up. People are calling, texting, like posting about it. And I'm just like, what? I'm driving, so like I'm not on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I'm like, why? I was like, did someone die? Like, I was like, why is my phone blowing up and it won't stop?
Yeah.
So I pull over on the side of the highway because I'm like,
That's awesome.
I need to
I
figure
gotta
out.
look at this. Yeah.
I was like, I need to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
So my college coach was calling me, ironically, when I pull over. So I answer. I'm like, hi. I was like, do you know why everyone's contacting me right now? And he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm driving home. I was like, I'm in my car right now. And he's like, oh. He goes, so you have no idea what's going on? I go, no. I was like, can you please?
That's what I'm asking.
Me?
Tell me.
And
Yeah.
I was like, please tell me, like, what is going on? He goes, all right. He's like, I guess I'm going to be the first one to break it to you. I go, yeah, you are. Like, what? He goes, you were drafted. And I go, don't play. I was like, don't play with me. Like, stop lying. Like, no, he goes, you were just drafted by North Carolina in the 3rd round. Like, you were the 27th pick. And I literally go, I'm going to have to call you back. And I hung up and I just started bawling. I was bawling hysterically because I'm like, what just happened? Like, I was like, is this your life? And so then, like, as I'm crying, I go to social media and I go to the Carolina Courage Instagram page, and lo and behold, there is my face.
There's Jaycie's.
There is my draft number, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh shoot! Yeah, a lot of expletives were probably used in the time.
Yeah, a lot were, and so immediately I call my mom. I'm bawling.
Yeah.
Like, she thinks I got in a car accident because she knows I'm driving home. Like, she's like, "Are you okay? Like, where are you? What is going on?" And like, I'm like sobbing this out. I'm like, turn on the draft. Like, I got drafted. And she just starts bawling herself. Like,
for sure.
Oh my God. She's like, get home now. Like, we need to celebrate. Like, I was like, I think I cried for the rest of my
drive. The rest of the drive.
I was in St. Joe. I had like an hour and 15 minutes till I was home, and I was so emotional. So many people were calling me. I do not remember that hour and 15-minute drive.
Yep.
I remember nothing of it. So many people were calling me and congratulating me, and like, it was just phone call after phone call. Someone would call me, or I'd have to call someone back because I was on the phone. So like, I don't remember any of that drive after I got that phone call. I was just like, get me home now. Get me out of this car.
Yep, let's do it. Yeah.
And like, the funny thing is, I was still in my knee brace and on crutches. So I was just like,
you're like a little hobble as you get up.
I literally was just like hobbling. Oh, yeah. Like, I was just like, this is my life right now. So
that's awesome. And I said it, I told the listeners, right? Jaycie's.
So yeah, that is how my draft day.
So it started so high. We had a little adversity. Boom, you get drafted. You find out in the car ride home while you're in a knee brace. You're crying for an hour and a half. Yep. Your hoodie, your Nebraska hoodie's probably soaked.
I actually was wearing like a red Nebraska hoodie.
Of course you are, right? Of course you are. So you get home, you're celebrating. You've been drafted, but what still looms there is the injury that's right front and center. Yeah. So what was it like?
I was a month out of surgery. I still had 10 months. I still had 10 months to go. So I was just like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, now what?
Yeah, I was just like, okay, here we go. I have something to work towards now. Like, obviously I still had something to work towards through my recovery, but like,
now it's right here.
Yeah, this gave it a bigger meaning. This gave me actually something to really just hold on to. Like, okay, I'm working towards getting back out on that field with this team.
Right. So what was the rehab then like while you're down there in North Carolina? What was that your time like with them?
Yeah. So since I was injured, they didn't like have me go out there early. Paul Riley, great guy, amazing coach. He's like, just graduate, get your degree done with now so you don't have to deal with it later. He's like, there's nothing you can do out here. You just be rehabbing. So he's like, get all that stuff done with, take care of it, and then when you're done, head on out. So that's what I did. I kept rehabbing, graduated. I came home for 2 days, packed all my stuff up, drove out to North Carolina. So I was only out there for probably 3 months because it was towards the end of the season. I mean, it wasn't that, like, I was gone for most of it because I was still in school rehabbing. So I loved it. The team was so fun when I was there. There is 4 other girls in my draft class, so it was really fun. Ashley Hatch, Darian Jenkins, and Claire Wagner. So it was really fun to be with those girls and to just kind of experience it together. Me and Darian, we got to spend a lot of time together because she was nursing an injury too, because she had an ankle injury, a lower body injury with that. So me and her spent a lot of time together, which it was really fun to get to know her, to get to be around her. Very competitive, amazing person to be with. So we competed every day with our rehabs, which was really fun. It kind of gave both of us something to look forward to, that we weren't just isolated and on our own. Yeah. So that was really nice to have each other during that process. We were both draftees. We couldn't play. So it was nice to have her to work with, and we kind of bonded with that, and no one else could understand what we were going through. So it was nice to have someone to lean on with that. But I really enjoyed my time there. It's a great team. Paul created a great atmosphere, team environment. It's a big family out there. So I really loved the couple months I got to spend there. Yeah. It was really hard not being able to play because it's such a fun environment. Everyone's so competitive. The trainings are so fast paced. Everyone's on the same page, get the job done. So it was really fun to just be able to experience and see some of that firsthand.
Right. And then after that, you were released, correct? And then invited to Seattle Reign FC for their preseason. So you come back from injury, surgery, you're there. What percentage were you at 100%, you could say, at the preseason?
No, I wasn't at 100%, mainly just coming back from any injury. You need playing time, you need to play, you need to practice. So like I hadn't really had a practice environment. I had girls in Kansas City that I was training with and doing stuff with, which was amazing to me. I had Shay Graham, Haley Hansen, some other girls that were here. So like that was nice that I could still like do some training stuff, but like I wasn't in a practice environment, which is, I mean, you don't get that unless you're with a team. So like I knew I wasn't 100%. I was probably at like 75, 80. I still needed that last kind of kick to like fully get back there. So I mean, I was still pretty confident going into preseason. I was in good shape. I felt good. So I was ready for it. I ended up getting signed, which was really nice. A week before our first game, I got into another contact injury. We were scrimmaging. A ball got cleared out to me. I was playing the 9, and I was chesting it down, turning away from the defender. And, like, she just grabbed, like, my penny/jersey, and, like, when she stepped, her foot landed on my planted foot, which was my right knee again. So she landed on my right knee, and I was turning away from her. So my foot got stuck in the turf, and as I turned, I went down, and I was like, all right, I know something's wrong. I know this knee. So we went and got the MRI. I had partially retorn my ACL, and I had some like little meniscus damage, but like that was not that big of a deal. So they kind of gave me an ultimatum. It's either I get surgery now or I rehab it and see if I can get it to function. And I was like, all right, let's go the rehab route. I do not want to go through another surgery. Like, that is misery to me. So I rehabbed it for almost the whole season. I got back with like a month and a half left. They cleared me. I passed all my tests, my strength test, cutting, everything. So then I was eligible. So I got to dress out. I got to play in 2 of our last like 5 games, which was kind of fun for me. I did get to make like my debut.
Those are your first minutes.
Yeah, those were like my first minutes I was actually eligible for. Yeah. So like that was fun that I did get to get into some games, but like it wasn't much. I mean, like I knew I wasn't going to play that much. I was just coming off an injury of 5 months. Mm-hmm. So like Blacko, I knew he wasn't going to play me. I hadn't been in training. I hadn't been through the whole season. So, like, I was a game changer coming off the bench, which was fun for me. Like, I was happy he gave me the opportunities. So then we go into off-season training, getting ready to go back out to Seattle. We get back out to Seattle. My knee kind of, like, was wearing and tearing. Like, I was kind of in constant pain, but I was like, I can get through it. It's fine. throughout the season, just playing, cutting, I finally got to the point where like I got hit in track practice and it kind of just like didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I was in a good amount of pain, but I kept going. And then I was just running and I just heard it pop, like my last pop. And I was like, all right, it's time. I need to go get an MRI again.
Yeah.
I went and got my MRI. My ACL is completely gone. They couldn't find it. It wasn't on the MRI. I had a good amount of meniscus damage. My cartilage was completely just like a Christmas tree lit up. So like, all right, here we go. You need surgery. And I was like,
yeah.
All right, it's time. Third one. Let's do it.
Yeah, here we are.
So I got my surgery 4.5 hours later. My knee was fixed. I got a new ACL. They fixed up both my meniscuses, tried to clean up my cartilage as much as they could. But at that point, there's not really much you can do with your cartilage. And then they put another graft in. It's called the ALL. So it's kind of like a second ACL in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of has a protector. So then they put that in as well. So then that rehab was now going to be a year-long recovery because I got cadaver grafts. They weren't from my body. It was from someone else. So with that, it takes longer for them to get adjusted to your body and to grow back into your body. And since it was my third one on my right knee,
right,
my ortho was like, you need the full year. Your body needs to adjust. You need to let it fully heal correctly if I wanted to continue to keep playing at the level I was at. He's like, just for safety measures, this needs to happen. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, like you were in there, you saw everything, like, great, let's go with it, let's do it. And off and running I went. And it's finally a year later, I can say I have had no ACL tears at this point in time. We're doing good. I feel healthy. I feel great. So I can't complain.
And you won't because yes. You've been and you've been going through these ACLs. You talked about the rehab and going through surgery and all of that. And I know what brought us together was our friend Jason, who, and you mentioned his business AGY, a Greater You.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you go and you just briefly go into it because I spoke with Jason and he helps me out with a lot of my high school teams. He comes out and works with them in injury resiliency. He doesn't say prevention because you can't prevent an injury. You can't. More resilient to injury, and that's straight from the man's mouth himself. He said that. So how did you meet Jason, and what's some of the stuff that you do at AGY?
Yeah. So I met Jason 3 years ago, which feels weird that it's been that long, but I met him 3 years ago. In the off season, I just got a part-time job just to keep myself busy and entertained. Yeah. And through that part-time job, he was like an ambassador for the company I was working for. So my store manager linked me up with him and was like, he's a trainer. Like, he trains some of like the Sporting Kansas City guys. Like, you play soccer, like you're a pro, like here's his contact information. Go check him out, see like what it's all about. Yeah. So ever since then, I have not stopped seeing him, training with him, kept in contact with him. Like, he has become a big part of my life now in just the 3 years that I've known him and been training with him. So he is one of my favorite people to be around. I come back to Kansas City most of the time just to see him, just to train with him, and just to get better with him. He challenges me every time I'm with him. Like, it's something new that he wants to see, that if I can do it and see how my body takes it and what I can do with that movement that he gives me. So with me, 3 ACLs later, we do a lot of stability, a lot of glute, a lot of core breathing exercises just to make sure like my body is stable, my body can embrace her impact on a soccer field. That's a lot of the big things that me and him focus on, is like jumping, cutting, staying low, just knowing my body and understanding how it works. He's really big on that, and he really challenges you to understand how your body works. Like, I know the 3 years I've worked with him, I can do different things now that I couldn't do before him.
Right.
And so like that's really fun for me to just see like how my body's been changing since I've been with him, and like the impact that he has had on my career as an athlete. The things that I can now do, I'm just like, holy crap. Like I've been through 3 ACL rehabs. Like my body goes through so much, just let alone during those rehabs.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can still do all of this with him and then some on top of that, I'm just like, this is amazing. And like my body and like just my knees, everything, like I've never felt this good since probably before my first ACL tear. So I can't thank him enough for working with me and being able to like take care of my body the way it should be taken care of as being like a professional athlete. It's just amazing to have someone in Kansas City that is very passionate about what they do and to apply that, and for people to catch on and to learn what he is like teaching. And like the fact that he's passionate about soccer and like he wants to get involved and he wants to help the soccer community in Kansas City, and he wants to help athletes be able to reach their potential and like to allow them to prevent, not really, but to allow them to do that is just an amazing thing. And I wish when I was little and in like middle school and high school that I would have had that option and that opportunity to work with him, because I feel like it really would have benefited me as a soccer player and in my career. I don't know if it would have prevented my ACL tears because they were all contact. It wasn't cutting, jumping, whatever, planting. But yeah, the non-contact ACLs like that, with that aspect of it, I feel like that would have been like great.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, shoot, Jason should probably just chop this one portion up of what you just said for the last 3 minutes and just put it on his website. But no, I've sent, since being a high school.
I mean, yeah, but I mean every word of it though. Like it's not even like a sale.
No, I know. No, trust me. I've heard it. I've sent him a few girls that I've trained that I coach in high school who have gone to him after injuries or who were looking to play at college, and they swear by him.
Yeah.
I personally am afraid to go to him because I've seen some of the stuff he does, and it pains me looking. Like watching my kids do it, I'm like, God, I feel like I just tore something. So I'm afraid to work with him.
I know some of the things he has me do, I'm just like, dang it.
Yep. So we're going to get ready to end things, all right? We're going to go into the general questions. But you're feeling good now. You're off the surgery. You're done rehab. You're moving, you're grooving. Is there any room for maybe a potential comeback from Jaycie Johnson?
Yes, there definitely is. I'm feeling my options. I put my toes in the water. We're seeing what's out there. So
I love it.
Potentially, you could see me back out on the field very soon. So that makes me really excited to think about it. Finally, I'm like to that point. So yes, there is a good potential. I might be able to be back out there again.
Hey, I love it. Can we say you heard it here first, or is it second? Did you hear it here
first? I have not really. I've told like family, like my closest friends. So yes, this is like my first public outing of me saying that I could potentially be back out there again.
I love it. So this is an exclusive. Awesome.
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
Hey, I just want to take a quick pause to thank our sponsor, AGY Performance Training. If you're a soccer player in the Kansas City area, elite or pre-elite, and you've got next level goals, AGY Performance Training should be on your radar. Over a dozen MLS, NWSL, and USL pros trust AGY to get them ready for the grind that is professional soccer. Find them on Instagram at AGY Performance Training.
So, all right. So, Jaycie, we let's go into some generic questions here. And I coached some younger girls team. So when I told them about this podcast and the female guest list I'm having, they're excited because now they get to talk and see people that are doing what they've done. So they put together a list of questions for me to ask the guests. So you got to be honest with it.
Yes.
The girls know. They know when you're lying.
They do. They really do.
They call me out all the time if I do it. So, all right, here we go. What is the best strategy, or what is your strategy on becoming a better soccer player and a professional soccer player?
Wait, sorry, say that again. My Wi-Fi is awful.
No worries. What's your strategy on becoming a professional soccer player or better soccer player?
Yeah. One of the biggest things is when you do get older and when you do get to that age to where you're training a lot, like your training ramps up, you really have to listen to your body and take care of your body recovery wise. So you're ready for that next day. So you're ready for that next step. So you can always be like 100%. Okay, not 100%, but so you can always be at like your best, physically ready to go, ready to do those practices, trainings, games, whatever it may be. Recovery is a really, really big key to help allow you to keep progressing with your game and to keep getting better. I think people don't really understand the importance of recovery, because I know like at the professional level, it is preached. Like your recovery, your cool down, getting your body ready for that next day is very important because you need to be ready to perform. It is your job. You have to perform day in and day out. So recovery is a really, really big thing that athletes need to start understanding in like middle school, high school ages so that you can fully grasp it through college. And if you want to keep going past college, because in college, you're playing Thursday, Sunday games, Friday, Sunday games. Like you have to recover within that little window of time. So like you really need to get used to that and you need to like adjust and get ready for that. So I'd say recovery is a really big thing.
Okay. And I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but let's see. What would you be doing if you weren't playing soccer?
Well, kind of I haven't been playing soccer.
Well, I guess that's true.
So
yeah.
I'm dipping my toes into coaching.
Yeah.
Which I've actually really enjoyed that a lot. I love being around the girls and being able to help them since I've been in their shoes. I've been there, done that. So it kind of helps having that experience. But if I wasn't going to coach, I'd definitely do something with sports because I love sports. I grew up with sports. My family was very involved in sports. So anything in sports, my major I got in college was in advertising and public relations. So I'd probably do something with that.
Okay.
In that area. I just don't know what yet. I
All
haven't
right.
really got that far yet. But trying to like see that. But I really enjoyed coaching a lot.
All right. Do you put your cereal in the bowl before the milk or after?
Definitely cereal first, then you pour the milk, and then you eat it. If you have leftover milk, then you can put more cereal in.
Okay, so that's when it's acceptable to put.
That's the only time it's acceptable to pour cereal and the milk.
All right, so that's another exclusive. That's a first. I can rock with that. Okay. Were you a good soccer player in third grade?
I'm gonna do a humble brag. Yes, I was. I was very competitive. I had 3 older brothers, like I said earlier. So like I was very competitive when I was on the soccer field or at practice. So I was like one of those annoying kids that took things really serious when I was little. I was like, I want to win. I want to be the best, and I'm going to be the best.
Come on, Sarah. You've got to work harder, Sarah. Come on.
Yeah, kind of. That was.
Yeah, that was you. That was you. With the hands on the hips, standing there, just I got you.
And I'm kind of like I have a very loud voice that travels. So like you really knew when I was yelling at you.
Was not good. Not good being a keeper when you're being yelled at by the striker on the other side of the field.
I had to apologize a lot, I think, when I was little for being a little bit too competitive. But it's fine.
And that happens. At least you apologize, right?
Yeah, right. I knew I probably maybe should have taken it down a notch, but like I was just in the moment. I was like ready. I was like, here we go.
You don't score 195 goals in 4 years and not be competitive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was really competitive.
I'm sorry. Okay, so what's a pregame meal for you? And is ice cream acceptable as a pregame meal?
Pregame meal, okay. I know I couldn't eat ice cream before a game. That would really make me feel like lethargic and like not the fastest in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with personally, no. Maybe some people that might work for their bodies. I know
But not you.
Not my body. No. If it was like a morning game, I would have like a piece of toast, little eggs, and some fruit. I didn't eat that much if it was a morning game. That's just kind of how I've always been in the mornings. I don't eat that much before training, working out, whatever. So I just get enough in to where I felt like I was good. I had a steady base. And then if at halftime I needed to have like half a protein bar, I could eat that. But morning games, a bagel, some protein and carb, that's what I had. And I was ready to go. I didn't need that much. If it's a night game, so our Friday games in college, I'd always have this tradition. I'd have 2 cinnamon rolls for breakfast.
Okay.
Real healthy.
Yeah.
Lunch, I'd have like a chicken salad, get kind of just little something
Transition
in
into healthy.
Yeah, transition to something. I couldn't eat a lot on game days. I don't know why.
Yeah, my stomach.
It's not like I wasn't nervous. It was just kind of how my body was. So like I'd have like a salad. I always made sure I had protein. I needed protein. And then like for dinner, I maybe had like a little cup of pasta, protein in that, or like a chicken and some like veggies or something, or like a carb. So like I was just really weird on game days. I didn't really eat that. I didn't eat a lot.
Right.
Just kind of, I was more about like kind of nutrition or drinking, like hydrating. I would drink a lot of water, get a lot of electrolytes in, cherry juice, kind of that type of stuff is like what I kind of mainly focused on.
Okay.
Food was kind of like secondary to me at that point. Like I knew I needed to eat, I knew I needed energy, but I couldn't really eat that much, just knowing how I am.
Yeah. Okay, so Jaycie, we've gone into some detail about little Jaycie, what kind of gets her to tick. What's the adversity you've gone through? You know, just I think you've got a very interesting story, especially with the injuries that have taken over and how you've been so resilient with it and bouncing back. And so I want to thank you for being a guest on. But before I let you go, we've got to do the Dream 5 aside, okay? Now, with this, you get to pick 2 teams, right? One team is going to be you plus 4 people who you've ever played with, right? Anyone. And you must include a goalie. Do not disrespect them, okay? I got in trouble for that from my friend. And then the next 5 is going to be you and you plus 4 people of anyone you ever would want to play with, in their prime, in not their prime. Maybe you want to share the pitch with Maradona when he's out of his prime, because I'm sure those stories would be crazy.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, Jaycie, let's hear it.
All right, so I guess 4 plus me, 5 aside. Goalkeeper would be Michelle Betos. I love playing with her. She's an amazing, amazing player. I would do Kristen McNabb. She's just tenacious, and like you don't mess with her. She's a bulldozer coming at you. Jess Vislock, she sees the field so well, just amazing.
Say that last name, Jess what?
Fishlock.
Okay, gotcha.
She's so fun to play with, sees the field, just amazing work ethic. And then I would go with myself.
All right.
And then last person I would play with would probably be Megan Rapinoe, because I loved being with her in Seattle. She was really fun. She knows the game so well, and she did teach me a lot when I was around her.
Okay, all right. And let's hear the all-star, the dream.
All right, so Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, yes, KDB.
Friggin' love him.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. Hope Solo for my goalkeeper. She's just a beast.
Dude, Hope Solo she's racking up these No Stress Midwest podcast goalkeepers.
She's a savage. I want her in goal.
Yeah, I love her. Hope. All right.
I would go with Harry Kane. I'm a Man City and Spurs fan, so gotta get my 2 boys in there.
Yeah.
Definitely, I respect Messi, but I'm a Ronaldo fan, so I'm going with Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's okay.
I respect Messi. I think Messi is so fun to watch, but Ronaldo is more my position of what I do, so I watched him more since I could relate better to him. So
okay. And there we go.
That's my 5.
That's a team. So Now, here's the big question I have for you here, and I don't. Maybe you can or can't answer it, but who's gonna take the shots with you, Harry Kane, and Ronaldo all up there?
See, I'm gonna be sitting, and me and Kevin are gonna sit behind them, and they're gonna be up there. So
Okay.
me and Kev are gonna be the little puppet masters, and Harry and Ronaldo, they're gonna be doing whatever
They're gonna
they
do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Jaycie's taking a step back from the striker role and looking to share the wealth of scoring.
I just feel like me and Kevin see the field really well together. We'd really just understand. We'd understand each other. Yeah, we'd feed off each other.
Well, so, maybe that's what they're missing at Man City to win them a Champions League is just the likes of a matching with you two.
Exactly.
Who knows? Well, Jaycie, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. Before we leave, is there anything that you would like to end the podcast with? Any final words? Any thank yous? Anything?
Thank you to you for having me. I've loved watching all the podcasts before me. It's been so fun to see just all the girls in soccer and hearing their stories and what they have to say and their experiences. So thanks to you for allowing us to have a platform and a voice. Second off, just thanks to everyone who supports women's soccer in the NWSL. Like, we really appreciate it. And please keep supporting this league's growing. We have so many talented, amazing players in this league. So please watch us. We're trying to kind of break a barrier here in these day and ages. So please join our fight and support us. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Well, I definitely love those messages. And listen, everyone, we will be on the lookout. If you follow us on social media, please be on the lookout, because if there is some news, maybe that Miss Jaycie Johnson decides to dust off those cleats, we're going to make sure that we announce it on there, and we'll have new fans of whatever club that is. So, Jaycie, thank you so much. You've been an awesome guest. I appreciate it. And I know it's a little early for a Sunday morning, but I've had my second cup of coffee by 10 o'clock, so I'm wired.
I'm awake too, so it's good.
Hey, we're doing it. Jaycie, thank you. Everyone listening, thank you for the listen, and we will catch you next time.